productivity crisis.
Well, a casual leave by default is a casual leave where you don't get asked why you need that leave. Like your office is your safe space. You would feel like they would judge you if you are not working. You don't want to be at crisis if you are not productive for one day. Productive day is when you actually spend it with your family.
Would I want to give at least one day of my week to my family? Answer is very big yes. And can that be very productive? Answer is very yes. Work is because there's a family. Spending 8 hours, 10 hours in your office is quantity of time. Are you really producing enough result?
Don't get so lost in it that it becomes your entire identity. Working from office, say 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, 2 day is work from home.
I'm not in favor of work from home.
Why is discipline so closely related to productivity?
Discipline is very, very important. Discipline means following a routine.
Routines can be monotonous and can eventually lead to burnout.
Hi, once again. I'm Deepak Bhuvneshwari Uniyal, co-founder and CEO of Insurance Samadhan, and once again we have Pragya Arora with us. She's a clinical psychologist. Last conversation was very, very interesting. And while we were discussing, I received a mail and then we started talking about बहुत interesting topic है productivity crisis. And Pragya had certain very interesting insights and we thought we must meet again and discuss on this.
Yeah. So I think do you want to start with
Yes.
the email that you referred to so that we can open the conversation?
So it took me a few minutes to actually understand what was that mail about.
I saw your
So,
reaction.
Yeah. This mail came to my co-founder and I was marked CC in that. And the mail said that, I need a half day leave, which is okay. And the reason was surprising, funny, that there's a sale in Zara and the lady wanted to make sure that she reaches and, does her shopping.
Yeah.
So I couldn't relate to it. Like, how can is good and surprising also. Why would somebody even write this? Because when we started our career, I started my career. If I had to take leaves, or my colleagues have to take leaves, so we'll discuss among ourselves. Then we'll discuss and maybe sort of take permission from our managers that there's an event in the family, somebody's not well.
I think this generation is very aware of, that they don't need to cover up or hide anything. They are very aware of their wants, their needs. Say, for example, a casual leave by default is a casual leave where you don't get asked why you need that leave.
That's why it is called casual leave.
Exactly.
You don't have to articulate everything.
But then when one is taking it, you do certainly get asked why. And now I think this generation is coming up and being like, I probably wanted to go attend a sale. I want to go pet my dog, take my dog to the vet. I have a party coming up. I have friends coming over. I have travel plans, whatever. So why do we need to, kill our grandparents over and over again or fake a medical excuse? Is the need of the is actually the question of the hour. Like even I would question it that why do I need to hide and make it sound like a medical emergency when
Yeah,
it's
perfectly fine.
not?
So I would say, is it a balancing act which is needed that you don't have to fake that something has happened to someone in your family, and then saying that I have to attend a Zara sale.
I don't think it's a balancing act. It's just pure honesty. And if I'm being penalized for my honesty, then what kind of system are we in? Because I wanted to actually take a leave for a sale. And well, hell, I love shopping. And I just want to own it up that I do want to go to this sale. I don't want to miss it. Definitely, Zara does only sale twice a year that I know of. So why it's an event? Why would you want to miss it if you're a shopaholic? And if you want to, even if you're not a shopaholic, if you just generally like shopping and Zara happens to be your favorite outlet, why not? I mean, it's just pure honesty. Why am I being penalized for being honest? Why am I being penalized to for being punctual at an event? If the sale opens at 11, believe me, by 12 the stores are empty. So if this woman has taken the step to, I want to be there at 10:30, so I need a need a day off my work, absolutely fine. Why should she be penalized for that?
Hmm, interesting.
I mean, it's honesty.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's why I said,
Yeah.
it took me some time to understand,
Hmm.
and obviously she did go for her shopping. She
Yeah.
didn't stop, but I keep hearing from our HR, similar stories, similar
Yeah, which is,
mails.
and I feel like why I told you the other day also that we should encourage it is because then you come into a safe space. Like your office is your safe space, right? Where you're
That's
coming, you're working, your
interesting. Yes,
productivity goes higher because you can be your true self, you can be honest in that safe. Because see, you are in office from 9 to 5. That is majority of your day,
correct.
majority of your life is going to be
Mm,
hopefully at Insurance Samadan.
mm,
So then this should be your safe space. This should not be a space where you need to hide out your personal life or like your personal likings and whatnot. If somebody likes to shop, why not? She's being able to be freely and openly. She's being able to say that
expressive.
yeah, just express her truth, own it up. Earlier, I think I would say that I think maybe you guys didn't feel safe enough to say that. I mean, I'm sure you must have gone to attend some event when it's a work day, but you didn't feel safe enough with your managers to say it because you would feel like they would judge you if you are not working.
Correct. You're
Yeah.
right. And also like we would have to prepare ourselves that now I have to go and ask for leaves
Yeah.
and have to share, even if I'm sharing in all honesty, because we knew for which event I can go and ask for leaves, and most of them, okay, I may not. Like in this situation, we can't even imagine asking that we have to go for shopping or maybe a personal event, and take a off.
But taking too much accountability of your work is also one thing that I think this generation is doing actively better at. Wherein earlier, it would, I mean, you don't want to be at crisis if you are not productive for one day, right? And I think even, and I really love this. Would you call it this episode? I don't know what, but there's this um, YouTube YouTuber Samir Raina. If you've ever heard of him, he's a
Yes, I have.
comedian.
Recently, I did.
He's recently done this
Yes.
show, right, where he redefines what productive days are. Wherein, like, when I ask people what is how when do you feel the most productive, they would say at work when I did and I crashed this sale and I did this and I did that. But he actually actively reminded us that a productive day is when you actually spend it with your family and you've had a fun time together, or you've finally met with your friends and caught up and you guys are gossiping. That is where you're actually productive. And I really liked that concept altogether.
So I saw that. I did not see the episode, but
Yeah.
because it became viral, so I
Yeah.
saw a few bites. I have a different opinion. First
Mm-hmm.
of all, him saying that is okay because he's making money out of it. So which means he is saying that that's his profession,
Hmm.
and he's making money out of it, and that's his most productive time
Hmm.
because he has to say that, right? Second, spending time with family and friends for me also I think is super productive. But saying that I think he said something working at the office or focusing on your work is less productive. I have a disconnect because he has liberty of saying that because he's making money out of
Hmm.
that episode
Hmm.
and he has made tons, right? So it has to be a balancing act. Obviously, that's why we say that you got to balance your life. That's why it's 9 to 5. It can stretch to 9 to 6. It can stretch to 9 to 7. For founders, it can stretch 9 to 9.
Hmm.
But would I want to give at least one day of my week to my family? Answer is very big yes. And can that be very productive? Answer is very yes. But would I want to give half of the week to my family and friends and half of the week to work? That's not how it works. Then you can't reach where you want to reach.
Hmm. See, he has the liberty to say that because he chose his passion as his career, right? So he enjoys his work.
But
right?
I would
Wherein
also like,
he,
sorry, I'm
yeah.
intervening. Again, this is what I personally very strongly believe. He's saying this today because, like I said, he's reached that level.
Hmm.
If somebody deep dives, they would realize he has spent hours, days, and nights creating this content without being with his family, or maybe in his home, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4 BHK home, where he was confined to his room and not talking. So I have also heard similar stuff from one of the stand-up comedian. I'm forgetting his name. He's from Kanpur.
Hmm.
He said for almost 10-15 days I was in one room and making that content, and
Hmm.
that's why I'm here today. So मेरा बहुत personal strong belief है that anybody who's reached a level where they can say what they say and the world hears, the reason is they have put in enough hours to reach that level. And that's why this 9 to 5 concept or this balancing life um, is spoken, other than the psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
is spoken or by those people who want to control the majority of the world.
Hmm.
Otherwise, tell me one name who's reached at the top and has done 9 to 5. Seldom you'll find those names.
Hmm.
And there's a story of people like Samay Raina.
No, but then, I mean, what he's not saying that, like, he did mention that he's also worked really hard to reach where he has reached. But that's his learning out of this whole time that he spent. That he also mentioned that earlier I used to also feel that my productive days are when I'm heavy at work. I'm just now realizing that it's different.
Because he has reached that level. That's
Hmm.
something anybody who's struggled and gone through that drill. Today, if you ask me, after working for 30 years, I would say that to my entire team, you need to chill also.
Hmm.
And please understand, this is a fact which people don't like to say. Two reasons. One, I want to control them. I don't want them to work for 10, 12 hours a day,
Hmm.
because I know one fine day they will find their own path and become a founder.
Hmm.
This is the reason why many people don't say that you have to work very, very hard. Samay or anybody is able to say because they have done that. Otherwise, he would not have reached here, said that, and you and me were talking about
Yeah.
him.
But but that's exactly the point. Like someone who's worked really hard from scratch becomes successful.
And then say this.
Reaching that point and realizing he hasn't been happy is what I'm saying. So like you're grinding, you're overworking yourself, you're reaching a point and you got along the way. He also mentioned that it was also luck, like right. So there's so many factors that came into picture. He did hard work, he did his whole thing, and then now he reached at the top,
So
right?
is
But he wasn't happy there.
that's the conversation we should have.
Yeah.
Is it that he was not happy, or is that he has to say that he's not happy so that the world listens to him? Because everybody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear that you should have a balancing life, work till 9 to 5, chill, enjoy your salary. Because everybody wants to hear, and they would want to hear from somebody who's successful, and he's saying what you want to hear. But
But
he's still enjoyed. So if again, no comparison.
mhm.
I've never felt ever in my life that I'm working hard, because I've enjoyed doing that. I would never say to anyone that I worked in for 30 years. I become a co-founder of the category starter and leader of Asia, with the largest in Asia. And look, I think I don't think it was a right path. I should have chilled more. I would have spent more time with the family. Because I would like to be honest with my audience. I would like to be very honest with people I'm talking about. I would like to be very honest with somebody I would want to influence.
Mhm.
But I would not like to share with younger generation because they want to hear this. This is what my core belief is.
Mhm.
A lot of people say because they know what the audience has to wants to hear.
That is true, but I feel like I've had so many people who've been successful, and they're coming from a successful, the pretty much top of their careers, and feeling completely redundant.
Then they
Like
didn't enjoy their
they're
journey.
going back. See, they enjoyed their professional
Huh,
journeys,
they didn't then.
but then no, they did. They say that they have achieved what they wanted to achieve professionally, but it sometimes mostly comes at a cost of
It
not
will
spending.
always.
But that's the point. This is where this generation is changing, that you do not necessarily need to pay that cost to be successful, right? Where we're talking about work hard, do your bit, but then also clock out at 5 because your family is equally important.
I don't know if I should say, but again, these successful people who said that, I'm here, and my takeaway from all my years is that I should not have worked this hard. I would have spent more time with family, friends. Is this generation actually doing that? Are they spending time with the family? Are they
See,
spending time with their friends, or they're spending time with their own self, with their phone?
well,
Or is that a priority now?
it is a
Or is
priority
it that,
to.
this generation, let's say you, I see you, for sure you're going to be, very successful. So are you saying after 10 years, when Pragya is talking like Samirana or somebody else, she will say that, look, I worked very hard, but I think I should have spent more time with myself, with my phone, because previous generation was talking about family and friends.
Mhm.
So will this generation talk this?
If I, and by God's grace, if I am successful one day,
You are or
I,
me?
well, thank you, very kind of you. But I'm saying that, it, as and when I reach the point where I want to be, and I meet my career milestones, I would definitely push the notion of being with yourself as well, being with your family as well, because I tend to spend equal amount of portions across the time. I do tend to, like, I want my family to feel that they are a priority. I want myself to feel that I'm a priority, and I want my work to feel also that it is my priority, and I can balance it. The problem is when, and it usually happens that most of the people think that we need to rank them, and then you can only be successful if you are putting work above your family, or the girls who are stepping out and working, they are compromising on their family, or the men who are going out and they're spending all their time in the office are not being present, active fathers and whatnot. Well, you can be a very contributing employee, but also take a leave for your child's sports day, because those eyes are actually searching for
Correct,
both
correct.
mother and father, right? So I feel like a good balance, and then there is no harm in having a relation with your own self, because in the process of, like, I keep telling you, and the time that I take out for myself as well, like, I like to go out on drives, or I would go out on a just like a date with myself, and I would actually spend just a day with myself and just do whatever I feel like doing. I've even taken like trips outside, and even if I'm going with a group of my friends, I have made sure that I spend some time alone and do just chill with myself. It's also important. I don't want to feel guilty to be taking out time from my calendar for myself or for my family or for my friends, um, and meanwhile also prioritizing work. It can all go hand in
Yes, yes.
hand.
So I'm totally in sync with
Hmm.
what you just said, that you don't have to say that work is more important than family,
Yeah.
because my personal take is work is because there's a family, so it has to go hand in hand.
Hmm.
What I'm trying to say is that it's very important to balance in a way that if you really want to do wonders in your career, you have to spend more time there, and you may have to compromise on quantity of time, but you may not compromise on quality of time. I'll give you a small example.
Hmm.
In fact, a good example of your mom, who's my co-founder. That great that she spends such good time with her mother, a quality time, and she's also balancing her work. Just being at home and doing work, and your parents are just there, you're not conversing with them. She conversed with her mother. That's what I believe in, that if I'm with my mom who's in Uttarakhand, I don't go anywhere. I spend the entire day with my mother, or maybe I go once in 6 months, but those 3 4 days I am just being with her. So that's the quality time I believe in, rather than saying that look, every weekend I just go and see my mom and be with her. So that's what I hope you're getting me, that
Hmm.
this my disconnect is with the way this generation, maybe any generation, thinks that family, giving more time to family is equal to quantity of hours you're giving them. It
Hmm.
is quality of time you're talking about.
Hmm.
Same is with your office. spending 8 hours, 10 hours in your office is quantity of time. Are you really producing enough result? Like in our office, we start at 10 o'clock and we finish at 6:30. I sometimes maybe I'm in the office till 7:30. But do I sit in the office from 10 to 10 at night? No,
Yeah.
seldom it has happened, because
Yeah.
if I'm actually focusing on my work, I would not have so much of work that I have to spend 12 hours a day. Once in a blue moon is okay. So that's where, again, coming back to Samirana show, maybe he spent initial 24 hours or maybe long hours initially, but today he's not.
Well, I mean, if your career needs it, right? Like, for example, I think in the beginning, even I needed to work more, um, and I did. And then now I'm at a good pace. The point is that don't spend all your life,
Exactly.
right? So, yeah, in the beginning, you might have to grind and hustle, and I think everyone relates to that. But don't get so lost in it that it becomes your entire identity.
Then
It
there's something wrong
becomes,
with you,
yeah,
as per
because
me.
if you're like, if you're just working and,
Yes.
just like starting at 10 and then ending your day at 9, 10, whatever, like 12 hours you're at work.
For me, then this person is not successful.
Yeah, I mean, that person could be successful, right?
In
Because
their own eyes,
success, yeah,
for me, that's not success.
successful in terms of career, but they are losing out on
A lot,
a lot.
a lot.
The cost that they're paying. So this is exactly what the conversations are starting today, because earlier, people used to work and they continue to, where they I mean, if you go out, you can't step out from Gurgaon at 8 o'clock because you'll end up in a massive
Correct.
traffic,
Yeah.
right? Because every corporate employee is there till like 7, 8. They're reaching homes by 9.
Yes.
By that time, having their dinner, completely exhausted, switching off and going to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when are you spending time with your family? Over the weekends, and that weekend is usually when you would want to just be by yourself as well, because if you give it to your family, then it's like, okay, then when do I get time for myself? And then when you don't spend time with your family and you're like, okay, it's Sunday, I just want to sleep till like 2 o'clock, and then you wasted half of the day. I wouldn't say wasted, but I'm just saying, you spent half of the day sleeping because you wanted to restore your energy, but then that's the only day you get to spend with your family. So that's the kind of crisis we're talking
No,
about.
so are you saying the crisis that is a 5 day working and 2 day with family or yourself? You're saying that it should be, 2 days should be converted to 3 or 4?
I mean, there are new scenarios coming up where we do have work from home as well, right? And I feel like you said, it's not necessarily quantity, it's also quality. So the presence, being in the house, can also make a difference, right? The change of environment can also be a difference. So I feel like companies should opt for a mix of working pattern where we're working from office, say 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, 2 day is work from home,
I
and
think work
then
from home is a actual debatable topic, because I
yeah,
personally am totally against. I would just say totally against.
yeah,
I'm not in favor of work from home because one, so when during COVID times, or including we were working from home. Me, Shilpa, all co-founders, we would debate that we should have work from home or not, and I was very clear we don't want work from home. And when COVID got over, a lot of startup founders, uh, for employees' comfort, for cost sake, for reducing commuting to office, thought that work from home is a better concept. We were very sure we will not, and we had a lot of debates. My take was, nobody has worked from home with the discipline they used to work in the office. Most of them, I would say. And I used to randomly ask a lot of people that, did you actually wake up at the same time? Did you get ready the similar way? Did you sit on your table at the same time? Did you operate the way you had to operate? Honest people would say no. I was, not shaving, lying on bed, started my laptop, and would you actually grow in your career if you actually work from home? Answer is no, because you're not conversing with your peers, you're not conversing with your seniors, you're not acquiring new skills because you're at home. And believe me, most of those startup founders are regretting today.
Hmm.
Hybrid still understandable, that too hybrid for people you think that this profile uh, can work from home maybe another extra day in a week.
Hmm.
But total work from home is a big no, because it has, to my opinion, it has only been disadvantage to the society uh, if it is complete work from home.
Well, I would completely disagree because I've been working from home
This is
for the
a,
past.
you may be one of the
Um,
exception people.
no, but it's
Your
not
profile,
about.
second, your profile is such you don't meet your customers.
But I do. I could benefit from a corporate wherein I do meet my co-workers every now and then. We have conversations about what is the new research that has come up in psychology and whatnot. But the point is that okay, why is discipline so closely related to productivity to you?
So again, when you start your day at the same time every day, you reach. So there's a reason why we were taught discipline in the school, that your school starts at 7 o'clock, finishes at 2 or 3, because so that you carry that discipline to your work life.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, your work office starts at a time. You plan everything accordingly,
Hmm.
and your office finishes at a time, and you plan your personal life accordingly. And that's why I think when you know that you have these many hours in the office, you start planning your day, and that becomes your way of life, and that's how you uh, take out time for different activities even in office, and talking to your colleagues, learning from your seniors, and that's how your career progresses. If you just randomly decide that today my meeting is at 12 o'clock and I will wake up at 11 o'clock, tomorrow my meeting is at let's say 9 in the morning, I'll wake up at 8 o'clock, that will actually not do justice to your body, to your life. uh, it will be all haywire if this becomes your routine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I said, different situation, exception situation is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I see that discipline is very very important. Anybody successful, you'll always see, and successful in any ways, mostly you'll feel that people are disciplined. And
Hmm.
discipline doesn't mean waking up 5 in the morning. I also don't do that. Discipline means following a routine.
Mm-hmm.
A routine can be from 12 noon to 12 night, but it has to be a routine.
Routines can be monotonous and can eventually lead to burnout. I mean, the major reason why half of the people are feeling burnout is because they're stuck in a loop where they're not able to get out of the 9 to 5 and do something that they would be more passionately involved in, or they would want be more productive in general.
So then they've
Like.
chosen the wrong profession. You see, it's debatable. What is
Mhm.
burnout? Burnout means I'm part of Insurance Samadan. It's been 7.5 years. I'm practically doing the same thing every day. I'm the CEO of the company. I have to make sure that everybody is aligned to the vision. I have to make sure that there's enough money in our bank. I have to fundraise. I have to manage the board.
Hmm.
It's a same job. And monotonous, I think this word monotonous is being wrongly used as per me. Monotony is amazing as per me. Monotony is discipline. Monotony takes you to the next level. Monotony will change your orbit. So people who find their job or life monotonous, I'm not saying that's something wrong with them. They have to find different ways to, maybe this is not the job they should be doing. They should find something else. They should think of jobs or professions they would love to. Most of them are not able to, and that's why people say it's monotonous, it's boring.
Hmm.
I feel sad for them, but I don't relate to this.
I mean, see, some people are okay having a similar routine and a similar life, but some people want more, and there's nothing wrong with them, and we shouldn't feel sad for them that they are not liking the monotonous environment. But for someone like me, I can't have the same routine every day.
So what do you do about it?
I practically now, like I said, that I've been working for, you know, work from home for the past 2.5 years now. So because prior to that, when I was working in a corporate job, and I was waking up every day, 7 o'clock, going to work, clocking in my hours, coming back. I was I was never feeling satisfied. Some point, yes, but after a point, I was just like, I am done. Like, but it's not like I didn't love being psychologist. I still wanted to be a psychologist, but I just could not relate with the routine, with the monotony, because I was like, I want more out of this. And that more, I thought that earlier I felt like, okay, it could be more opportunities at work. So I thought, okay, let me pick up more, goals and more roles. And I expanded my role. I took a promotion and then became the team lead and whatnot. And then it still didn't it still again that was going good for some months, but then again I was back in the pit where I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this because there's I want to learn different things, I want to do different things, I want to experiment, I want to change, and I also want to like be a bit freer.
So to me, that's not monotony. To me, that you're changing your orbit every a few months, every few years. That you're saying that I've done this. I think I'm ready for more.
But I feel like I am doing a lot better with that because had I been stuck in that job, I would have I would have not learned as much as I've learned over the years with my work from home. Because
Totally in agreement.
like I've done so many new things. I've learned, like, I disagree that we can't learn more because I think I applied to so many courses and I learned so many things. And then I saw these different AI functions and whatnot. And I experimented with some with Claude, ChatGPT, which I thought I would never be able to ace, but now I can like ace it like
How
anything.
many people would do that? Why do you think I'm saying that these startup founders, they realize they made the biggest mistake of their life, that they thought work from home is a way, because it doesn't fit for all. Very rare people will be able to manage that. Like you said, now you're doing better because you knew that that job which you're doing, that's something which you can do. Either ways, even if you're in office or home, you wanted to do more, so you change your orbit. You if I understand, you also took care of the marketing of your company.
Yeah.
You also took care of the founder's office, so you
Yeah.
were wearing multiple hats in the same 8 to 10 hours. So you were utilizing that time smarter. You were utilizing that commuting time in a smarter way.
Yeah.
This
But that's
very rarely
exactly no,
happens.
but that's exactly where the generation is coming up with that do we necessarily need to work harder or smarter?
Smarter, it has to be smarter.
Right? So when we talk about discipline and hard work and whatnot, that essentially goes to that clock in more hours at work, do some extra projects and whatnot. I mean, there were days practically where I did not feel like working, and I actually did not work. And I was just
Which is
sitting
perfectly
and I
fine.
was like, I can't do it today and I just don't feel like it. But had I been in a setup where that disciplined routine was there, I still had to go unnecessarily push myself when I didn't feel like working, go sit there, disturb my mood and probably the mood of my co-workers, or maybe even on a brighter side get motivated by them, right? But if I did not feel like it, why am I
Yeah, then it's
going
complete
in there?
again. Then we are getting to different debate. Then we are talking about culture of the company,
Yeah.
the culture of our companies, and we are very clear. If you don't feel like working, talk to your manager and go. Not in each or
But
it may
how
happen.
many corporates have that kind of
So
culture?
again, it's a debatable topic. Today's startup culture, many startups, few of them at least I know, founders, they're also very clear that we would want you to do productive hours. Long hours is not needed. Productive hours is needed.
Precisely, which is why
Yeah.
we're saying that we're redefining what productivity looks like. Earlier, whether or not you're productive, you're clocking in the hours. And that was fake productivity, where people are good at appearing that they're busy, but they were actually not doing anything. And now productivity is completely different ball game where, okay, we're actually doing some quality work. It has shifted from quantity to quality, right? But how many times can you manage this, because most of the corporates still don't have this culture. It's a new culture coming in. It is a Gen Z culture where
So the
we have
reason,
labeled earlier concepts as toxic, that
yeah.
that wasn't needed and we didn't have to follow those ethos at all, but now we are changing it. Very few companies, I would say, have changed. Otherwise, a lot of the companies are at same par, where you have to define each and every hour of what you're doing.
See, I've worked in a corporate
Hmm.
and very large corporates, multinational. So I think there's a very strong reason why they are the way they are, because they control masses. They masses are working with them, thousands of workers, and you have to give them boundaries,
Hmm.
because very less percentage of employees or workers would actually understand the definition of productivity. That's why to larger people, they say that these are your work hours. These many, for example, in our office also, there's a team which has to per person has to do 80 to 100 calls a day. Now you can say it's very monotonous, very mundane, but there are people in the same team who are doing that work with a lot of fun and creating more productivity, doing better job. So, but masses are like that, and
Hmm.
it's not India story; it's a global story.
Hmm.
So that's why corporates create boundaries that these are norms of your work. These are your KRAs,
Hmm.
and that's why there are parameters. Exception people, they're only 5 to 8%. Mediocres are balanced 15 to 18%. 80% fall in that category.
But I'll tell you the India's problem here. Okay. So, like you said, that there's a calling team and there are people there doing 80 to 100 calls and they're enjoying it every day, right? Let's say I get into this job and I'm doing 80 to 100 calls every day and I'm enjoying it because I love my job and I like talking to people and whatnot. So, I'm just doing that. And now, 3 years later, I'm still good at talking to people. Have I done something else? Have I learned something else?
Then again, it's culture. I would not let you stay there for 3 years. Next year, maybe 1.5, 2 years, I'll move to a different role, because you may be skillful enough to manage few people, so you'll go up the ladder. If
Hmm.
you are not, if you don't fall in that manager category, or if you still are, if you still have to learn, I'm gonna give you more quality, customers, or maybe more quality data, so that you can produce better.
But this is where you are coming into picture and helping me realize it. But I'm saying that so many people don't realize they find it productive. 80 to 100 calls every day. I did every day and I'm productive.
So
But
see, 80 to 100 calling is not the only criteria. It is linked to a result.
no, I'm just saying that, like, for example, I meet my targets. I'm doing my calling. I meet my targets day on day, day on day, day on day. I would feel productive because, well, I mean, I've done my work. What I was told, I've done that.
So if you feel
But
productive, then you are.
maybe, but what that's exactly what I'm saying. But maybe I am capable of doing so much more.
Correct.
But the problem in India is that we don't have professional budgets. Like the way I'll tell you a difference between when I worked in Australia and when I worked here. A 9 to 5 meant 9 to 5. There was no second above that. If that is, it's chargeable, right? Which means a professional boundary, not from the corporate side, also from the employees, where they also feel that they are equally in control of the situation, right? It's not just the corporate managers telling us, oh, you have to extend because I'm staying till 7, so you have to be here till 7. But my hours are chargeable. I signed a contract and I said 9 to 5. This is my pay. If you want to make me work 2 hours extra, you pay me 2 hours
Correct,
extra.
which is right.
That's not there in India. The second thing that's happening is that when I was working in Australia, I had a professional budget aligned to me, professional learning budget. That's something that they do when you join, wherein you get a specific budget and you can use that to enroll in multiple courses, do whatever you feel like, even if it's a music course that's not in alignment with psychology. But like if you want to learn music and that you feel like you can grow out of it, do that. But
Brilliant.
that's not there, that's missing in
Correct.
India.
So obviously, again, there's a journey of a country also. We are
Hmm.
also evolving. I'm
Hmm.
sure we've reached this level where startups are changing the dynamics of the game.
Hmm.
Like I said, quantity of ours is getting to quality of ours. Productivity is being mapped. Than just staying overnight or late. So similarly, I'm sure we will. There are a lot of startups who do this also. A lot of corporates do
I'm
this.
sure there are
Large
new
corporates are doing this.
upcoming
So it is
companies.
happening here
Yeah,
also.
I'm sure there are upcoming companies who are doing it, but they're realizing the toxic trends that we're following,
Yeah.
and they're changing. So they're unlearning some patterns which are very closely linked to discipline. That you have to be respectful. That these guys are here till they are working till 7. So how can you walk out before the
There's a
CEO
wrong
walks out?
definition of discipline,
But
obviously.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, there are so many
Yes.
ideologies out there
So that way,
that
if you see
we have to.
Japan, Japan is different country altogether.
The
Um,
highest in depression, by the way.
yes, I know. I know. I was coming to that only. Loneliness
Yeah.
is one of the biggest reason, and they have this culture even today that if your boss is there, in the office or in the party, you have to be there. And I have a big disconnect
Yeah.
because after office hours or even in the office, if you are there in the office because your boss is there in the office, I think that's a big problem. The culture we have in insurance Samadhan is, and I take a lot of pride in sharing. For example, because I live very close to where our office is, if I see anybody in the office while I'm going, I will always go to them and say, "Why are you sitting here?" So they would say that I'm about to finish the job, and if I find a lady there, I will wait that can I drop you to the metro station? And most of the time I wait and I push her that it's okay, 7 बज गए 7:30 बज गए, it can happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that
Yeah.
it's late, dark, let me drop you to the metro station. So I think that culture, so my definition of discipline is very very different. It's to do with self growth, whereas this definition of the example I gave for Japan is sad.
Yeah,
And
it
unfortunately,
is.
a country like that, which is so evolved,
Yeah.
follows this, and that's why you're right. They're
Yeah.
lonely, they're depressed.
But then that country is the most highly productive. So
You
that's
can
what
be
we're saying.
productive without
We can.
without following those cultures of
Exactly.
just
So
following
that
what the
culture
boss
has to
says.
change where we have to be fearful of the seniors and whatnot. Like, I mean, we still have this culture of calling ma'am and sir, right?
Yes.
Which is by far something I feel like. I mean, I'm glad this generation upcoming is changing, but frankly, there's so many people who have a disconnect with it. Like,
I
why do
totally
we?
buy. In fact,
Yeah.
in our organization, the average age is like mid 20s, and
Yeah.
founders are late 40s and early
Hmm.
50s.
Hmm.
We've always told everyone it's your choice. You
Yeah.
must call us by a name, but for whatever reason they do. But people
Yeah.
who
I mean,
would call us Deepak or Shilpa or Sanjay or Shailesh, we're perfectly fine. And
yeah. I mean, in my last corporate job, when I was the team lead, I told my coworkers to please call me Pragya and be absolutely, open to calling me by my name. But they insisted that they should call me
yes.
ma'am because, it's something that they want to be respectful of my position and
So
whatnot.
similar. So
And
it's their choice then,
yeah,
but we are very clear. We don't want. In fact, we have a culture where, so when I do the orientation for the new team members, and one thing I always say that within these walls, we all are colleagues. There's no senior, there's no junior.
very less companies who do that. I feel like India still takes a lot of pride in hierarchy.
No. But, I think again, they would have their own reasons, but these old traditional companies. And outside Insurance Samadhan, my card says I'm a co-founder and CEO because that has a different impact in outside society. But within the team, we all are. We just. It has to be free flow conversation because if I want Insurance Samadhan to grow, we know this is the right culture.
Pretty much so, absolutely. But then I think so many businesses, companies are still functioning on a hierarchical level where they want the control and power at the highest level, and then and even the productivity has its own ranking. The people who are at the bottom need to be the highest productive,
For us, it's
while
the other way
someone,
around.
yeah, I mean,
It's
definitely.
totally other way
But
around.
then this is the kind of culture that we want to talk about and want to
Yes.
share,
Yes.
and we want to like bring that sort of
I think we should
awareness
discuss
into.
this.
Yeah, so that's
We should
exactly.
discuss this.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So, one of the reason I personally, this is my personal opinion, that any organization where people at top level, they think they're more important than the organization and the vision of the organization. I think this is a culture they follow, where the organization goal, organization vision is very very important. For example, my favorite CEO is Rajesh Sood. I've shared this in
Yeah.
one of the fire chats as well. One of the reason is he's very, and he was a CEO of a very very large organization, Max Life. He was always very clear. Please address me as Rajesh. I call him sir because I want to call him sir. But he was very clear
But
because
why? Can I ask you this? Like, why do you want to call him sir?
again, subconsciously, this is what we've seen. Nobody has. I've been very fortunate to have good bosses, good seniors. Nobody has told me to address them as sir. Maybe because that's what I saw. Maybe my father addressing his or his senior ma'am, and then sir. This is what I've seen, and that's why I got used to it.
But then this is where I think we need to pause, because unless you you're consciously aware that this is a subconscious thing that I'm doing,
Exactly.
and you're consciously still continue to doing it, tomorrow if the people in and around you see you calling your boss someone you find senior and respectful, addressing as sir, then the younger ones will
Correct.
also call you sir.
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
this culture will keep on going, and this
Yes.
it's non-stop.
Yes, like
Because
I address my co-founder Sanjay as sir, Shailesh as sir.
yeah,
Your mom
yeah,
calls me sir, and I've told her
yeah,
many times. So now finally, I'm glad that when we go out and we are meeting, different stakeholders, that's why she started calling me as Deepak because
yeah,
again that way it would not look good.
yeah.
So again, for her, for me, for everyone, it is the subconscious mind, and we all need to unlearn,
Yeah.
which I totally agree. But like I said, in our organization, and maybe that's the
But
reason
we're not
that's what.
still doing it. That's the
Huh,
whole.
because they also see us, me addressing Sanjay and
Exactly.
Shailesh as
So then,
sir.
if they see the CEO of the company addressing Sanjay sir as Sanjay sir,
Yes.
then nobody else would be able to call him Sanjay. And if someone does, it might seem disrespectful, because then you're going away from the crowd and you're not comforting to the rules of
Yes.
the
Yes.
corporate, which
Yeah,
are
interesting.
established by seniors. So see, that's exactly,
Yeah.
there's so many practices that are happening in corporates that we're aware of are toxic, but they still continue.
See, but again, maybe some places it is expected that I want you to address me, sir. Some places I don't want, but then because I am so used to doing this that you are just following what I am doing.
Yeah, precisely. So things need to change. I mean, I actively changed this dynamic when I came back from Australia and I was working in a corporate. And I clocked out at 6 o'clock, and then someone called me at 6:30 from office, of course. And then they're like, "Oh, I need to discuss this. Is this?" I was like, "Is this urgent?" They're like, "No, but this needs to be done." It's like, "Okay, talk to me tomorrow at 9 o'clock when I clock in." And then that was a shocker for that person, because it was like, "But it's only 6:30, you can do it, you can do it now." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I've clocked out, I've logged out." And no. And when I said no, it actually became a problem for so many people. They thought of me as arrogant and whatnot, like she's not serious about her work, while I was the top performer at that
I can
corporate
imagine.
for like 1.5 year altogether. But honestly, when I placed some boundaries, I was taken away from a lot of things where I was probably seen as arrogant and whatnot. And I was like, but I want to be respectful of my time as well. What is wrong with being respectful? Like, if I'm telling you, you cannot call me after 6:30 because after 6, because I've clocked out, unless it's urgent,
Unnecessary, obviously.
right? Because now I'm with my family and I want to chill and I want to like just enjoy, as I have worked 9 to 6 diligently back to back with my clients. If you needed more, you could have asked me more during that time.
Correct.
And this work can wait, by the way. There was no urgency.
Yeah.
Had there been an urgency, I've attended calls at 3 o'clock in the night as well, where my clients actually needed me. So I would have been there, right? But when it's not urgent and when it can be addressed in the morning, why not respect someone else's time? Because you've hired me and now you own me. That's the mindset of so many people
Yes, unfortunately, but
that,
I see
yeah,
it changing.
yeah. We definitely do see a lot of changes happening, but because the hiring has been done, now you're being controlled.
So one thing I would like to admit that that my work is done in 2 3 hours and I have nothing to do. So I'm just roaming around, and then I'm realizing that everybody else is working,
Yeah.
and थोड़ा guilt भी आता है कि but actually I've done my work,
Yeah.
and the reason one of the reason is because I've been working for 30 years, so I know how to create a productive day.
Yeah. But you still end up feeling guilty despite all your goals
Yes,
of the day haven't
team is
been
working.
met.
Yes.
Because that whole idea is still in your mind, right? Wherein it's like productivity has to be like throughout the day I'm working.
Yeah.
Like on some days I'll be very honest, my productivity definition has also changed where I'm like, I can now admit that when I do, sometimes I tell myself I'm not going to be doing anything today and
Great.
count that as a productive day,
So
right?
I was about
So
to say,
yeah,
I
like,
was about to say that some days, once in 15 days, I
yeah,
make sure for 25 to 30% of my day, I'm not doing anything.
anything,
I'm just sitting, and
absolutely.
believe me, like you said, I call it productive because best of the ideas,
Yeah,
when the situation is very very complex, which keeps happening in startup ecosystem, I get the solution for it.
yeah,
And I tell this to everyone, especially who are in manager level, leadership level, that every week, few hours in office, you should do nothing.
nothing.
Just sit, chill, do what you want to do, and
Yeah,
you'll get solutions for
yeah,
your issues.
absolutely. Like, just unwind your
Yes.
mind. It's very important whether you want to step out of the office, change the environment, whether you want to be in office and just soak the energy sometimes, or like just be in bed, whatever works for you. Like sometimes for me, just being in bed works, or I actually change my location to go sit in a cafe or a co-working space at that time. So like I'm just there, just sort of getting some new things out of the environment. And sometimes I'm just sitting blank with my thoughts and I'm just like, what do I think about life? And then I just, I get myself into crisis sometimes, but I like to be having a conversation with myself or like, whatnot. So it's fun and I call it productive. I don't come back home feeling like, oh, I did nothing today. I didn't close my client calls, or like I didn't do this. I could have done that. I have now consciously gotten a habit of, not making myself guilty when I'm not having like a full on back to back work day. If I'm having a relaxed day, that's also productive. The
I agree
point
with
is
you.
goals are met,
Correct.
right? So I think that is what we want to change in the scenario. Like that's the kind of message that I want to send across to people, that your productive day is not just like back to back works and back to back calls or back to back meeting. Like a calendar full is not just the only productive day,
Yes, totally, totally
right?
agree.
So like it's like your calendar can be half filled, barely filled, but you're doing what you were supposed to do, or maybe you found something new,
Yes.
but you're just enjoying yourself in that space. Or honestly, enjoying is also a lot. You can't always be happy at work, like you can't always enjoy your work. Sometimes even I feel like, because I'm listening to clients all the time, right? So sometimes I'm such a talker, like you make me sit down and listen always. I'm just like, sometimes I may not enjoy it, but it's not necessary to always enjoy 365 days. Some days can just be like, yeah, I was like blah, okay, but I was still productive. I don't have to be guilty. So that's the kind of change I would like to see in people, where, and I think it will get less people in crisis about their
Yes.
life. Like most of the people are having midlife crisis at 25. Like 25 is the age where you're not even supposed to have it figured out. You are supposed to chill, you're just supposed to
Correct.
discover.
Correct.
Maybe have a midlife crisis at 40 if you are like, oh, I haven't found the purpose of my life. But at 25, people are having crisis. So that's where I disconnect with a lot of people. I'm like, just relax, explore, have fun in exploring. Don't feel guilty in
Yes.
exploring your
Yes.
options. And yeah, that's about it.
Super.
Yeah.
Another great conversation.
Another great conversation. I think we are opening a lot of minds, and I hope we do some impact on changing the culture of
Yes.
the Indian workspace.
We should talk about it.
Yeah, more conversations around it for sure, for sure. Coming up. Awesome. Lovely talking to you again.
Likewise.
And I'm sure we're going to have more controversial disagreements
Even-
along
That's
the
also
way.
healthy.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
Very healthy, very healthy.
Yes.
But yeah.
So thanks each one of you, and keep following us.